Hello. Um, it's Prince Easy, and well, as usual, let's get to it. So, today in the unseen world, we're gonna really focus on doors, okay? Doors, because I don't know, it's a common phrase used to express a way through the the other side. We read about these great men within scripture that they go into this other world, and they experience things differently, and and basically um, that term was coined, you know this action, right? So that's what adores, so the first door would be dreams. Most of them fell into a dream of some kind, when an angel was sent to Joseph, warning him and telling him that no, you shouldn't escape and leave that woman behind, just to preserve her, I don't know, but take that woman and the child and leave because the child is in danger. He fell into a sleep to get this message, right? And so many others, some of them had even fallen into some sort of trance, and they had scribes next to them writing what they were saying and what they were seeing at that time in real time, right? So it is quite impressive, what this dream state, and of course the term dreams is of course it is attached to a meaning, but it doesn't really even begin to explain what it is, okay? But for the sake of learning, so the dreams are first door, right, where one can interact with the spirit world. That's the most common and that's most known, okay? And the new and rising method is the chemically induced, I call it the chemically induced, meaning they create a chemical reaction within oneself to open up or to thrust themselves into the spirit world, right? So there's the usage of blood, especially here in Africa, right? Blood is like the whole thing, when you look at there's this witch known as Manyao Nyao. He basically drinks and consumes cat blood and claims that he can capture demons, and these demons usually come in form of horns, cow horns, and he wrestles with them, and it's a whole scene. Basically that's just the devil playing hero, right? The devil playing hero, pretending to be a being of light while it is darkness. Okay, and of course, just like how the Nephilim were made, basically it was roots and tree branches, and not branches exactly, but leaves, and tree barks, and all of this mixing, and the women drank it and they became pregnant and basically were able to conceive these giants. Okay, it is happening even today, right? People have infertility issues and they go to see witches, and these witches give them these concussions, and in reality the child that is born out of that experience really is a hybrid, you know. And of course, this also covers other compounds. I've seen honey, some psychedelic honey in the Amazon or something like that, or in Brazil, I don't remember. Right, and then we have DMT and stuff like that, you know. These are all chemicals and compounds, yeah. And of course, we have rituals, yeah. Rituals as in a general sense, okay, the whole activity. People like who engage in like those fortune telling or star, I don't know, star readings and these things like this, you know, they open up doors to these entities by doing such rituals, and it's not necessarily under DMT or under any form of I still classify it as chemically induced because these things are within us already, right? We don't need any special compound or whatever, but they lay there dormant for a reason, right? So when they do these specific things, then they cause that dormant side to basically erupt and express itself, right? And we have these mantras and chants, you know, music is highly used, you know, even the mix of two, right? Music and chemicals, right? All causing a state of hypnosis, as is famously known, right? And of course, we have ancestral channeling and things like this, you know, and they do all of these bizarre things to basically get help or get answers to whatever life question they might have, right? So that is that, right? And then there is a new emerging sphere of war. I classify it as psych warfare, right? Well, it happens to me a couple times, right? While I'm awake, right? Awake and aware. And I'm like suddenly see myself somewhere in that same space, right? In the same environment. I see adversaries, and I fight these adversaries without lifting a finger or doing anything with my hands or feet. I just stand there and I fight. Sometimes 4, sometimes 1, sometimes 2, you know, and like I'm a quick learner, and I realize that over there, like, people are insanely powerful, you know. All the things that I've been able to do there, like it's the same thing as in the dreams, you know. I could do like impossible things, yeah. All I can say is like, you know, God is doing something, you know. God is doing something to us in order to put us in a better position, in order for us to like win this war as it were, right? And trust me, we are winning, right? Now to me these people seem very, very weak, you know, and what was lacking was just God's grace, I think, you know. God's grace was lacking because it was a time of punishment and stuff like that. So, like, is that I don't think everybody is experiencing this, just like dreams or chemical induced situations, but you have to be aware of this. I have to make a general situation, right? So this war right now is very real. The last time I literally let one of these assailants harm me somewhere, I let them literally harm me somewhere so as I can see if it is real, and trust me, it was real. I learned pretty quick, and now I do not give them a chance, even a second. And it all has to do with your imagination. It has to do with your imagination. And like society today is set up to like suppress imagination, even taunt imagination. But really it's a weapon. Okay, it's a weapon. It's a weapon. It's a weapon, and they know this, and they want people to be desensitized from being. They always want people to be practical and stuff. you know, Practical in everything, and that is what they regard as order. In reality, they are rejecting a group which would represent their ideology as a disorderly one. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So that's the situation that we are in right now. So yeah, if you feel like that, you know, you need to engage and be really creative. And the laws of this world, they do not apply over there. I can't even emphasize this enough. I can't emphasize this enough. But psych warfare is real. It's not like how they represent it in film or whatever, but it exists. It's very, very real. It's very, very real. So yeah, I just had to point that out, because some people might be victims of this. You just walk around and you feel in your spirit like you are somewhere, but you are surrounded by these entities and you are helpless. And sometimes, people, out of not knowing, they get attacked, and these people, regardless, they have these what we call psychic abilities. Psychic abilities, and let me tell you, those are also very real, very, very real, very, very real. They usually classify them these days as non-verbal communication, and that's the matrix itself. It's expressing this way. It is mostly focused on verbal communication, Twitters and the YouTubes, and it's verbal. It's not. People are not training themselves to be non-verbal, which is actually part of communication. Maybe that's why we see failures in relationships today, because I don't know if you know this, but most of what we communicate to each other is non-verbal. And to most people, that communication, that relay that happens every time, to some people it's like, I don't know, I don't know, simple. To some it's hard, but it's training. Okay, so as long as the systems keeps on emphasizing on people writing and people talking without actually keeping quiet and communicating to one another non-verbally, you know. Now they have made these classes or whatever, you know, they call them love languages or I don't know, body languages or or whatever, you know. But in reality, they teach these things in order for one to be manipulative, but not to communicate. You know, because if if the one you're trying to communicate to is unaware of first what they are broadcasting, and secondly what you are learning from what they are broadcasting. So it's a type of these dating coaches are actually training people to be deceptive. You know, they're not actually telling the truth because there is not really communication over there. There's just manipulation. I hope you understand what I'm saying, you know. So like they are training people to like sit around and observe and not really engage, but be an observant and take note of the reaction and react to that reaction, you know. So it is psych warfare in itself, you know. It's psych warfare in itself, you know. And they are training people to use this ability, to basically abuse this ability. You know, trust me, I have been down that road. You know, I've been interested with body language and non-verbal communication. Like I've done my research. I have watched enough so-called courtship or dating gurus, man. I have seen a lot, and I can tell you this for sure that it is indeed psych warfare against. Mostly, men are trained uh, to be they are weaponized against women in that sense, you know. And you know, it's a dangerous it's a dangerous like I said, it's a weapon, you know. Like I said, it's a weapon. So these times where there is high demonic activity, you have to take note of your whole being, okay, your whole being. So yeah, let's move on. Oh no, they said it was peaceful, but nah, they did it. They did it, and somebody will pay, you know. How does this even relate, you know? How does this even relate? Of course, now they're going after the booking systems, right? The booking systems. You remember those hacks, those 1,000 hacks that happened a while back? You can look them up if you want to find out. They hit the major transport systems, yeah. And of course, we have this clown. I ran into this clown today on my feed, you know, and I usually ask myself, like, so like they claim to want to change and progress the nation, but really they're not saying anything to do that. That's the issue I have, you know. They're not doing anything to do that, so they have become idols and just false prophets, you know. You know, false prophets and idols, you know, and people worship this thing, you know. That's why the whole world is on fire, because they have set up these idols and people follow these idols and they get lost. That's why I'm here. That's why a prince is required, so as to create that order. Okay, so this guy here is trying to create that disorder, you know. If you add that to the situation of that Zanzibar situation, like that was handled I'm like impressed how that situation was handled, you know. I saw this clip of this cop over there, basically saying that, you know, it was exaggerated, you know. It happened a way back, you know. I was like, wow. Guy is using even English and everything. You know, and of course it is, you know, attached to Ngorongoro, and you had that handled also, you know, and you know, those are psyops, you know. But it all started with the knives. You remember the knives, the zombie knives? You remember those? And look what exactly happened, right? The leader over there told the Maasai to lose their knives and sticks. Like me personally, I've never felt under threat from any Maasai holding a sword or anything like that ever in my life, ever. I've never even had an instance of, and I've had many encounters. Okay, because they understand their consequences, you know. They understand their consequences, and they do have the right to protect themselves. Do not forget this. You know, the police cannot, or the army cannot take the entire responsibility of protecting the mass. You know, do not live in a delusion like that. You know, that's a dangerous delusion, right? Because you have systems of communication, and what if those are sabotaged? Then what happens? But if you enable people to protect themselves, and you become the main protector when they are not protecting themselves otherwise, but that was not the step to take. Okay, you should take note of these things that I'm saying in these videos, man. Like, sheesh, how many times do I have to say this? This is Zion, so whatever is happening there, it's connected to here, to these 3 pieces of land. That is Zanzibar, that is Tanganyika, that is what is called Uganda. Everything that happens in the world today is connected to these 3 countries. Get that through your skulls. Okay? Get that through your skulls. So whatever psyop they're running over there, it's just a dry run. The life is over here, and it's near here. Even though you don't see it in the media, but you have to mindset yourself, okay? And trust me, I will be right there, you know, yeah, to do what I am supposed to do, okay? And it seems that, you know, I have done a good job of showing out how psyops works and how actually to encounter those psyops. You know, it's quite easy, really. You know, quite easy. You know, and of course we have this psyop. You know, with his pink Rolls Royce. You know, they're just saying that, yay, we have Malaysia, right? We have Malaysia. That's what they're saying, right? So it's Babylon. There's this going on. Just more slavery stuff. Yeah. Take out of the stock, take out of the employment. And AI is taking over everything. They don't need you anyway. So you prepare for that. You know, you prepare for that. You know, and I saw this thing, you know, and I'm like, yo, let me show you these people. First of all, you know, all of these, like I've said, you know, if you're not the Lion of Judah, if you're not the king ordained by the heavens to rule, then everything will just go wrong. Everything will just go wrong. If you look at the crown of this guy, it's a Roman crown. It's a Roman crown, and what do we have? A falcon, you know. This is the Roman Empire, you know, just like this situation over here. It's also what's happening to this guy. So these things have been happening over and over, you know, but it's time they stop. It's time they stop. And I'm just here to bring that order, you know, to bring that order. And trust me, they will fight back. Yeah. I mean, look at this, you know, and you're telling me like things will go on like this for 100 years and people will still be like, I don't know, alive? Like, seriously. Now they're catching on. Now they're catching on. Like half of the population will be thrown out. Okay, will be thrown out. Clean cut. Because they let the private sector, which already dictates the price of building material, also dictates the price of construction. And that's the issue right there. There was no regulation. You know, there was no regulation. That's why everything went wild. Okay, first of these companies that manufacture living situations and also regarding building materials, they were just left, and the market can inflate and deflate itself when it feels comfortable, and really that sucks the blood out of the masses, you know. You know, look at this, you know. This is Babylonian stuff. And this guy is supposedly a priest, you know. As you can see the call on the thumbnail of the guy who made the post, the tweet. Yeah. He says, Catholic bishop, take note that 2 male penguins can take care of a chick. So hey, even nature is doing it. So why are you refusing it? This is ridiculous, you know. The only thing that you have to react, sometimes some psyops, you just keep quiet, you know. You just keep quiet. If for instance, if it was my job to take care of the psyop in Zanzibar, for instance, I would literally go to that exact same location that event happened and just ask around. First, try to attack that idea, right? For when it happened, why it happened, who was involved, and all of these things, right? Just questions. That's how you break down a psyop, you know. And when you ask these questions, then the people that made these psyops cannot help it but answer these questions. They have to. They have to, because the psyop is breaking down, or else they have to abandon it. They have to abandon it, which basically means that they have lost. You know, and trust me, I have been fighting a lot of psyops against Zion, like a lot. These videos are all about it. You know, this is more what I've been talking about. You know, this is what I've been talking about. And I saw this picture, you know, and this was Africa way back then, you know. Like, and the question came like, what happened to our hair, man? You know, my guess, I think it is genetic manipulation, in order they can destroy our hair, because hair is the representation of the crown of glory, right? Hair is the representation of crown of glory. It says that. So the decrowning, the new crowns that they want to give people, especially Judah, they have to start with the hair. That's why we see all of these, especially Hollywood actresses going bald. They are basically decrowning themselves. They are taking off their crowns and wearing the devil's crown. And that's the symbology of what happens. Okay, so if it's a ritual, then they'll do it in a mass scale, right? All of our women here in Africa today want to have their hair look like white women, and that's a scary situation, especially those who have natural hair. The braids, that's something else, but those who have natural hair, they usually make it like a white woman. They make it like a white woman's hair. Basically, they are destroying their brains and their hair while doing this, okay? Doing these activities. So I think it should be addressed. All of these products that burn your hair to make it malleable enough for you to teleform it to whatever abominable look that you want. Don't do it. And PS shampoo is just basically bacteria food. Okay, I used to suffer a lot with the issue of dandruff, and my only solution at that time was like using shampoo, and it worked for a while. And after a while, I realized that the situation just got progressively worse, slowly, but it got worse. And then I said, you know what? I just left the entirety of what we call, hair products. I didn't put nothing on my hair, not even natural oil or anything. I didn't put nothing. I just washed it as I bathed. That's it. And the issue disappeared, and it's the same thing even to my skin. People just wake up in the morning, take a shower, and just put on petroleum all over their situation. Like, what? This is the mental psychosis that I've been talking about. Do you know really the science of what really happens when you apply those oils on your body, on your skin? And they say it gives you 24-hour protection. So they are implying that you are not safe if you are not. This is the psychological warfare that I've been talking about. Okay, you need to wake up, people. Please. Okay, and I'm not even recommending coconut oil. It has antibacterial properties. It's medicine. Right? It's medicine. So you do not want to be applying medicine on your skin every time, because your skin is literally part of an ecosystem of bacteria. Your life, your skin, it goes through a cycle. It's alive, even though you are not in control of its growth and whatever in some parts, but it has its own properties, and you have to know it. Okay, and trust me, taking a shower on a regular does not help either on keeping your quote-unquote healthy skin healthy and whatnot. So people need to really, not in a shallow sense, but really ask the questions. Why is it an African tradition that we just wake up in the morning, tunajisiliba to this petroleum jelly from Nivea, we just siliba ourselves from this all of this oil from this slave company? Why? If we are not able to ask those questions, my friends, then we are in so much trouble. So much trouble. Okay, that I'm trying to deprogram people by raising up these issues. Okay, but it is all an entirety a spiritual journey. Believe me, you have seen it, right? You have seen our enemies. How you have literally seen our enemies. I've shown you the enemy of humanity. So you're in a privileged position. So thank God for that. Yeah. More mockery, more mockery of yours truly over here. This is what the rest of the world does not know, but it's right there in your face. It's right there in your face, right? But people do not see it, I've been talking about these things, right? Blue, Eric, same thing. So, yeah. I'm just making you aware of your situation, okay? Because some of you might have doubts, but let me tell you, you are free to examine. Trust me, you are free to examine. Okay, if I forget, I'll add a link to this video. Okay, because I got attacked. I got attacked by somebody who still is living at the delusion. So the link is about basically scripture and how basically Africans are the first Christians. Africans are the first Christians. Okay, we gave white people that religion, and as usual, they appropriated it. Okay, they appropriated it, and they used it against us, and used it for slavery and this like that. Okay, so as long as we keep on insisting, that the white man brought religions to us, and as long as we keep these strings attached between us and the Roman Empire, the church will always be on trouble. Okay, this goes out to all of the bishops of the Christian church in Zion. Okay, this is why I've been, some of you might even say like attacking the church. No, I'm not attacking the church. I'm attacking a lie. Okay, a lie. They have literally perversed our faith. Okay, they have whitewashed like everything. Okay, this lady is very smart. She will explain everything. Okay, if you have that, that's the first layer. The second layer is that at these end times, you have to look for one thing, and one thing alone: a prince. Full stop. If you wanna wander around and in search of knowledge, trust me, you'll find foolishness. You'll find madness. Because it's the literal definition of what the devil is doing to the world right now. Okay, they can't be so obvious. I mean, look at this, Yeah, look at this side up here also, Look at the pink. Always follow the pink. Like Mike Tyson, like, wears pink. Like, seriously? This is a ritual. This is a ritual. And look at the comment. He's like resurrecting or something. 3 years. No, I don't know about this situation. I'm here. I'm waiting to hear why the decision is like. But all I've seen is just attacks. But I'm yet to hear her side of the story. of why she made those decisions that she made, right? And of course, we have this psyop going on. Like, literally, they are trying to say, like, America is black. That's what they're saying here, Trying to keep you over there. Trying to keep you involved and engaged in their nonsense. Come to Zion, yo. Hey, okay. And this tyrant that needs to be in jail, just running rampant. More of this. This is a Roman tradition right here. They are all about it because it's a Roman tradition. It's their Roman thing, The church was compromised during that period. That the church was somehow made a big deal by the Romans, but the Romans really did not live their way of life, did they? Okay, it's quite known that they just adapt gods. They just adapt gods as a mechanism of conquering. Okay, so like today's Babylonian politicians, they adapt God in order to win elections, and it's the same technique. Okay, so this is happening, and it's going to happen. It's going to pass. And trust me, it will. Okay, it will, and we all know it will. But the question then remains, are you left stranded then? Or are you left to abandon your post? No. I'm just making you aware of the situation. That these people have no authority because they are liars. They can't even the greatest people in the church have been liars. Can you even believe this? Even the greatest teachers in the church have bought the lie. Do you know how much damage that will do to the church if people keep continuing playing games? Remember, this is the apocalypse. I'm not joking. Okay? You think that what I'm saying right now, I'm dreaming that, Africa is Israel, I say all of these things, and you think, have you ever even sat down for a minute and considered what I said right now to be true? That Jesus was actually a black man, and all of the scripture is talking about really the black people. Have you ever considered the damage that would do to people's faith? This is nothing. This right here, this this post here is nothing. People just abandon the church and never listen to anything people have to say. Anything. You priest will have no even, you'll be so embarrassed. You won't even be able to stand up to the podium and say something with a straight face and try to be taken seriously. Just because you were dishonest and you did not embrace the truth. That's why I'm hard on you. Okay? That's why I'm hard on the church of Zion. I need you to poke at the lie. Poke at it. And trust me, you'll find holes in it. And these holes will lead you to the truth. And as I've said, I'm a believer of the truth. So we have to question then, why did these people lie? Why did they steal our identity? Why? If it's not to steal what God has promised us in a literal sense. So you have to know your identity. That's part of receiving your gifts Your gifts have to be addressed to somebody, right? And a few of you who actually have access to me have been receiving these gifts and have seen it. Right? So what I'm doing here is not a joke. I'm not wasting my time. Okay? I'm not wasting my time. I have a lot of things I can do besides post videos just to deceive people. I have multiple talents that I can walk upon. But really, those talents are just to help me to be a good shepherd. And today I was reminded that that example, a good shepherd would leave 99 to follow the one, and that's what I'm doing here, right? I'm trying to get more people and keep those that already have safe. That was what I've been doing, yeah, with everything going on. Okay, so I need you to really digest what I'm trying to communicate to you here in these videos and truly believe who I am. The world is so much deceived. They didn't even know that Jesus was walking the earth until Jesus Christ himself told them. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now as a prince. I'm telling you, I'm a prince, and Zion, or whatever you want to call it, Israel or whatever, it's over here. So you can believe that, or you can make up your own situation. Regardless, you are your own shepherd, I guess. You're your own shepherd. And trust me, there are wolves out there, man. There are wolves. Okay, we are seeing the claws of these wolves right here. Right? Within the church itself, there are people who are so deluded. They believe so much nonsense. Like, what? So if this guy is your priest, if this guy is your bishop, you're definitely going to hell. I'm not judging you, but if you believe what he's selling here, you're going to hell. You're going to hell. Okay, so yeah. Talk about leadership crisis. It's not only in the politics, but it's everywhere. Okay, and I have my job cut out for me, but thank God I'm equipped. All my life has been just exactly that, equipping me. Most of the people that recall my childhood, they say I was like really restless. I was restless since childhood. So I guess now I'm restless also. I've not stopped being restless. I'm just restless in some other form. you know. So yeah. Prince Easy, General Easy, General Eric, signing out. Love you. Bye.